it down, place for you just scoring mines, press the bar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, man. It was a good end to the week. We did things a little differently on the stream today. It was a little chill. We had our first ever Freestyle Friday. Shout out to people who brought it back. Yo, shout out to Tiga, man. Tiga, Big Tiga. That was a lot of fun. But I figured, I don't really do videos on Friday. I did one last week, but I think we'll talk about real estate. So what I want to talk about is, you can see here with the title I'm going to make this, how and I say we this, well, I don't know what I'm going to actually put the title as, but this is the story of my friend, and what he and his family were able to do with real estate is amazing, and it's inspirational in the sense to see, it at least could start us a discussion on investing in real estate. This comes up a lot during the 11 at 11s. We talk about this a lot. This is what I do. We have our companies, I have my stories and background, so I think we could use, I broke clear keep. I didn't keep clear, but I have a background with this. I have my story. I think we could do these Friday videos with real estate. I want to see it, but anyways, this is what's happened with them. So the story starts in California real estate, and again, we're going to lead this into the talk because I want to talk how stocks and real estate are the same, but this is what they did was buying, and they got investment growth. So they just did this with 2 properties, and it took about, I want to say 15 to 20 years. I need to really double check on it, but they bought their house before the initial real estate bubble in 2004, and it was in like Orange, California. It was like Orange County, like the parts between like LA and what's that one place? Arcadia. So they, and this is my boy from China, and so if you're Arcadia, you guys know the culture out there. Arcadia is dope too. That place is blowing up, but they bought one just right outside there, and they bought the house for about $600,000. So with that $600,000 now, some of you guys, whether you want to relate this to you or not, the way I look at it is how you could leverage real estate. Really with that $600,000, even if you had like $120,000 with 20% down, or you did even like a FHA. The FHA didn't exist back then, but they bought the house for $600,000. They acquired that, and then in 2006 or 2005, that $600,000 house went up to like 1.5, I think, about there, and it was in the millions. And they took that, they sold that house, they doubled, tripled that investment, and then in 2006, literally, this was like while things were slowing down right before the crash, they went to one of the most expensive neighborhoods in LA, in Beverly Hills, one of 2 gated communities, and that is called Beverly Park. It's literally called Billionaires Row. I even have a video on my channel going through there. It's a cool, the people who live out there and who are out there, and it's, they're very, very nice houses. And now that what they did, they bought that house for about $4.6 million, and they were able to do it. They took pretty much all of the profits from the first house, the 600 to the 1.5, took all that money and used that as the down payment for this $4.6 million house. And today, that was from 06 till now, so that's about what? It's like 14 years, and then, give or take another 10 years, I guess, about, wow. So maybe 25 years. I would say when they bought it, it was in the 90s. So that house, though, is standing here today at $40 million. $45 million is the appraised value. So again, in this market, how long would it take to sell? You could talk about that, but it's a cool inspirational story, just in the sense of how you could even parlay real estate and what you could be done. That's the simple story, and there's many stories like this, even in like LA. This is why they say location is so important. And some of you guys coming around here, some people who wait for the next downturn, this is how you could do stuff. Aim really location. It's crazy because things change, like LA, Beverly Hills, like places that are nice, the weather, certain stuff. Literally, I'm going here in San Diego. I was born and raised here. I love it. It's beautiful. But San Diego is one of the hottest markets, even today, right now, even throughout some of the slowdowns. Weather plays a big part. Location is very, very important. But come the downturn, that's the stuff you could look at. So now that's the first type of thing. That's the story I wanted to talk about. But that is the part of real estate that is investment growth. This is where now you figure out how you want to put real estate in your life now, because there's many ways people view real estate. It's something to live in, or it's an investment. I view it as both. And now when you guys want to do it, if you guys are even thinking, well, how do I get into it? You don't always have to be buying these $600,000 houses. There's now the income side where you could treat real estate property like a stock, and you could go buy. There's houses all around America. I feel I really want to post some that you could get for $50,000, $60,000. Again, the down payment, most people could put down 20%. I wouldn't want to say most people, but it becomes a lot more accessible, and the mortgage drops down. Like if you did mortgage it, again, assuming you didn't buy these all cash, and even if you did have the cash, you could buy one of these properties. And again, there's some properties out in America, no exaggeration, that you could buy for $5,000. They bundle properties too that are just crappy. If you're able to even find, there's a lot of homeowners in the middle of America. I've seen so many places, even Texas, where these guys own property, just like that story I just told you, but they own so much property from so long ago, they'll be willing to sell 20 units, and crazy what they'll sell it for. And that's the thing about real estate too, people and prices. I always focus on getting things at the right price, but the key is that prices, it's so subjective because some people bought real estate at such different times, and that's why some people are willing to sell, some aren't. Some have higher operating costs, their taxes are going to be different, all sorts of stuff. But in general, though, you could buy one of those cheap properties and get income, and it's just like a dividend stock, a $50,000 house that pays out, X amount of money a month, and instead of, a stock has a dividend yield. In real estate, it's called a cap rate. It's the same exact thing. I gotta switch lanes there real quick. I'd be safe with that. And I'm not. See, I have my filmer here. Okay, so you guys, this isn't unsafe. This is like talking on Bluetooth. I'm talking. So I know somebody gave me crap for that last time. I said, yo, chill, man. The cult is good. God is good, baby. Just focus, baby. Focus. This guy's not focused, man. You see this guy? He's in both lanes. I don't know. But anyway, so like we're saying, though, it's the cap rate is like the dividend yield. It's how much money based on your investment in the property. How much do you invest? How much do you receive back per year on that? So if a property was like $120,000 and you got $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year, you would be making 10% of that value, would have a 10% cap rate. But that's the whole point, is that you could treat properties now like a dividend stock, and you could treat it as something where you live in the house, you can make a smart move, and it's just one of the passive incomes. But you could treat it like growth, because when you live in a property now and use it like an investment, it's like buying an Amazon stock. It's like buying Facebook stock, where it's not going to pay you every month and you actually have to pay for it. That's what happens sometimes with growth stock. You don't get a return on your money. But the best part about property, this is why people like property, and what difference between property and stocks. Property is it's a real asset. It's a secured asset, whereas stocks, it's a piece of paper. It's simple as that. Stocks are more liquid, though. And hey, man, you getting my drink? And I had to take a drink, man. But real estate is not as liquid. And that's funny, drink liquid. Yeah. But if anything, those are some of the two differences there. But you could pay to have the stock. Sometimes with the losses you would take, that's what I'm viewing living in a property as. It's growth. It's not always going to be there, but sometimes with the growth stock, you'll sell it for more than you did. If you lived in a house for 3 to 5 years, you may sell it, get your profit. You get to at least profit because you're paying down your mortgage, so you get some money back when you sell versus renting. So it's like a growth stock, and that's what I say. You could go in that sense. And then now there is flipping houses and wholesaling. Flipping is like day trading stocks. Wholesaling is like trading options. And this is comparing stocks to real estate, if you guys are following along with me here. And those are now activities that you could do where it's not your investment activity, it's not the same security, safety, but instead now you're trying to trade the asset, buy it at one price, and your mere goal is sell it for a higher price and make a profit on the transaction. There's also real estate investing, being a real estate agent and making money. That's like being a broker, working as like a financial advisor or something like that, where you're help facilitating the transaction and then you're getting paid. So putting this all into perspective now, I want you guys to think how you could incorporate, how do you want to make real estate in your life? This is where I want to at least open up the discussion for you guys, because we've been talking about this so much, and give you guys more clarity with how do you want to view stocks and real estate, but mainly real estate in this sense now of how are you going to incorporate it into your life? Is it going to be more passive growth, where you want to make a smart investment with the house you live in and use that as the linchpin of your portfolio with real estate being growth, and then maybe as you get stock profits or other profits from here and there, turn that now into an investment property to get safe income. And that's the thing, property, the best part about property when doing that compared to like a dividend stock. Dividend stock, you have to buy the stock, and sometimes the stocks are expensive and they can fluctuate in value. Property, it's going to hold its value, and then it's easier. You're going to make, if a $100,000 house goes up 10%, you're making 10 grand in a year. It's a higher leverage, and it's easier to leverage real estate than stocks, believe it or not. And that's because it's a secured asset. But if you want to do that, you have to think, that's what I want to do with my real estate portfolio, or now I want to be more active in real estate. This is why we were talking today, like door knocking, getting out there. If you want to be an agent or anything, if you want to make, we flip probably between, me, my brother, the rest of the people in our company, we're doing at least one house a month, or some wholesale deal, not to mention facilitating a bunch more. So putting that into context, that's a way to get growth. It's like flipping a house or trading stocks and options, but it's a secured asset. It's a lot safer. It takes a lot more time, and you're gonna, think it's easier to make $50,000 flipping a house, but it's like, can you make $50,000 day trading? Yeah, you can make $50,000 day trading in a day if you take that risk. If I put as much money as I did into a house flip as I did an option trade, and it worked, I would make way more than $50,000, and you could make it very, very quickly. The property, even if it takes a month, it's still a big margin because the underlying price is so expensive, but you can make a pretty good amount. That's a good way to get active in real estate, or knocking on doors and finding a way where if you're doing one deal a month, one deal a quarter. I know agents out here who does 4 or 5 deals a year, and then he just takes the rest of the year off. You could get in. It's a great side hustle, and it's something that could really pay the bills and do a lot of big stuff there, So that's getting more active with it. And then really the other part is kind of a hybrid between both, or even just creating a big investment portfolio now and treating it like a giant dividend stock. So really having your savings tied to a mix of like growth and rental, or now, because you could even buy properties, buy them for a year or two, get rid of the tax benefits and hold them in high areas, California, and more expensive properties to pretty much sell for more, rent for more. But that's pretty much it, and that's how I want to break it down. I think this is just like an intro discussion to this. Hopefully you guys can see I had to give that, your click temptation story, but I really think it's a good story. I always share that with people about what my friend did, because it blows my mind. I've seen real estate do a lot, even myself. That's not even mentioning, the property. You guys have heard me talk about it. We have a property that we got in like 2012. And that was like 600 grand. It's worth like 1.5 million now. It has a great rental on it. The cap rate, anybody, if you bought property from 2012 and you held till now, or even if you held through the crash, you're making a lot of money. You made a lot of freaking money. It's kind of crazy. So even holding real estate, all that, it's cool here. That's why I thought I did good. And hearing his parents' story, I was like, dude, that's crazy, because if you did the same moves in the same time frame, a lot of people had opportunity. You could have, if you just did it in the right place. He had a lot of right place, right time. You can make a lot with real estate, and that's the key. You guys have heard me talk about timing and everything, and just, I said 2019 is like, this is like living through the 20s. Like, imagine people who got to say, hey, I bought property back in the 20s, and comparing that to what that would be worth now. Imagine if you bought property in the 20s in California, Beverly Hills. I don't even know if Beverly Hills was popping like that, but I could only imagine how cheap it is. I could rant on this forever, but I'll leave you with that. Hopefully this inspires you. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know your guys' questions below if we should start talking about real estate on Fridays. And that's it, man. I love y'all. Stay blessed. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you're not in traffic, but hopefully life is good. We got a lot. Don't look at the stock market till I'm going to post a video tomorrow. You can watch that video. But if anything, maybe not even look at it till Sunday. But chill out, relax, be smart, set up budgets. Just keep everything simple, man. God bless y'all. I'm out. Good night. I love y'all. Mwah.